All right, let's dive into one of the most brutal, beautiful, and just plain influential comic series ever created. Frank Miller's landmark noir masterpiece, Sin City.
Man, that line just says it all, doesn't it? Perfectly sets the stage for the world we're about to jump into. This is a place steeped in grime, soaked in shadow, a world where morality is a luxury most people just can't afford.
So the official name on the map is Basin City, but nobody calls it that. It's Sin City. And let's get one thing straight right away. This is not your typical story about good guys versus bad guys. You can forget about heroes. This is a story about a city that's just rotting from the inside out.
The cops? You think they're here to help you? Nope. In Sin City, the people sworn to protect and serve are often the most dangerous predators on the street. That badge is basically just a license to kill for whoever's paying the bills.
And above the cops? Well, that's where you find the politicians. And these guys, they're not just corrupt. They are literal monsters, pulling all the strings. Their power is absolute, and their sins are completely, totally untouchable.
So, what does all this mean? It means in a world this broken, the single most dangerous thing you can possibly do is care about someone. Love gets you killed. Loyalty gets you buried. And that right there, that's the core conflict that drives every single story.
And who's really running this whole rotten show? It all comes back to one name, Rourke. The Rourke family controls everything. The politicians, the police, even the clergy. The entire system isn't built on law and order. It's built to protect the powerful and punish everybody else.
But you know, the story of Sin City isn't just about what happens. It's about how that story is told. You absolutely cannot talk about this series without talking about its groundbreaking visual style. This is so much more than a comic book. It's a masterclass in telling a story with pictures.
Now think about your average comic book, right? It's filled with color and shading and all these different tones to fill in the world. Miller, he just throws all of that out the window. We are talking pure black and pure white. There's no gray. It's just ink and the empty space on the page. By removing the gray areas visually, he forces our minds to fill in the blanks, and somehow that makes the world feel even darker, even more menacing. The art isn't just supporting the story, the art is the story. And then, when he does use color, whoa, it's like a weapon. He establishes this harsh black and white world, and then bam, he hits you with a single, shocking splash of color. Think of the monstrous yellow bastard, or a blood-red dress in a sea of black and white. That color hits you right in the gut with pure emotion, before your brain can even catch up.
So, who are the people trying to navigate this brutal world? Well, they're not heroes, not by a long shot. The main characters of Sin City are broken men. They're killers, they're criminals, but they're all driven by something the rest of the city has completely lost: a personal code.
And there are really three key figures we follow. First, you have Marv, just a human wrecking ball, a force of nature running on pure vengeance. Then there's Dwight, a guy desperately trying to outrun his own violent side to protect the one place in the city that matters. And finally, you have Hartigan, the last honest cop in town, whose entire life boils down to one simple, impossible promise.
Let's start with Marv. This guy is huge, he's ugly, and he's basically held together by medication and sheer willpower. One night, a beautiful woman named Goldie is kind to him, and it's maybe the first real kindness he's ever known in his life. He wakes up just hours later, she's dead in his bed, and he's been framed for it. He doesn't know why she was killed, but you know what? It doesn't even matter. Because Marv's code is simple, an eye for an eye. For Goldie, he unleashes a hurricane of violence. He just tears through the city's corrupt heart, hunting down the powerful Cardinal Rourke, who is hiding her cannibalistic killer. Marv gets his revenge, but he gets caught. They send him to the electric chair, and they have to hit him twice. Even in death, he is completely, utterly unbroken.
Next up is Dwight McCarthy. He's a man trying to escape a violent past, and his story is a classic noir tale of temptation. It's all about the ultimate femme fatale, this seductive, incredibly dangerous woman named Ava Lord. She comes crashing back into his life, twisting his loyalties and manipulating him into this web of murder and betrayal that nearly costs him everything. His biggest fight isn't just against her, it's against the darkness inside himself that she brings out.
And that brings us to John Hartigan. And honestly, this guy might just be the soul of the entire series. He's the last honest cop in Sin City. He has a bad heart, and he is one day away from retirement. He chooses to spend that last day saving an 11-year-old girl named Nancy Callahan from the sadistic, twisted son of Senator Roark. And just look at what that one act of decency costs him.
8 years. 8 years in prison, staying silent because talking would put Nancy in danger. He eventually confesses to a crime he stopped just to get out of prison to find her again. He saves her for good, and then he takes his own life. It's the only way to sever the connection, to make sure the Rourke family can never use him to get to her. It is just a devastating final sacrifice.
So after all that blood and darkness, why does this series still matter so much? What's its legacy? Well, it's about so much more than just the cool art style. It's about the powerful themes that are boiling just beneath the surface.
At its core, Sin City argues that in a world that has no justice, personal loyalty is the only real virtue left. It digs deep into that noir fatalism, that sense of doom where characters choose a path knowing it leads to ruin, but they do it anyway. And it shows sacrifice not as some grand heroic gesture, but as the final, brutal expression of a personal code.
The series kicked off way back in 1991, and it completely redefined what a noir comic could even be. It took the genre's darkest impulses and translated them into a visual language that was totally new, proving that black and white could be more vibrant and way more shocking than full color ever could. Its influence was so profound that in 2005, we got that landmark film adaptation. And what made the movie so special was its fierce loyalty to the comic, translating Miller's panels almost shot for shot. It brought that unique black, white, and blood-red world to life on screen in a way no one thought was possible.
So we end with Hartigan's final words, which is really the thesis statement for the entire series. It's a gut punch of a line, and it forces us to ask a really difficult question. In a city without any hope, is the ultimate sacrifice not just a fair trade, but the only trade worth making?